live now.
Hi everybody, welcome to Serenity and Sobriety with Bridget and Doug Parvin. So happy to join you this week. Last week we were out and about in celebrating my 23rd year of sobriety, so I missed you guys, just to let you know. And one of the beautiful things is we got to go up to Lake Tahoe for a 3-day retreat, and my sobriety birthday present was a beautiful, beautiful trailer that's a bohemian 1970 vintage trailer, and it's absolutely beautiful. So I named it Lily Rose, and it's bohemian, and I'll get to do writing from there and creative stuff, and just it's absolutely beautiful. It is just filled with beautiful colors and everything. So it was a retreat that we went on and got restored and refreshened, and I highly suggest in nature that you get refueled, replenished. So I know that when we got back, there were messages, where were you guys last week, and what happened with the angel reading, and there was just really, just needed to be unplugged, and just, it's awesome. So if you could do it even from home or anywhere. Just highly suggest that. Beautiful self-care, and it's just so enjoyable to be here with you. So anyway, during the week you could find us on the book page, How to Get Your Life Back, where I'm co-authoring a book with Doreen Virtue. It will be published by Hay House in 2018. Right now it is in the rewrite stage and editing stage, so we're really excited about that. So that is coming up, and then every week find Doug and I on Sober Lightworkers and Facebook Live, which we do weekly every Thursday at 11 Pacific Standard Time. And on Instagram, you could follow me under Bridget Parvin, and if you would like any private sessions with me via Skype, telephone, email, find me on my website, bridgetparvin.com. There's all the things you can click on right there, and I would love to connect with you through being of service for you. So that brings us up to this week's topic is let go and let God. Another thing is what I learned is let go or be dragged. Let go of that rope. So whatever you feel that is causing you some resistance in your life, we're being asked to let go of that rope. Let go of that tug of war. So non-resistance means of not interfering in someone else's life, of allowing them to make the choices that they want to. And oftentimes we could have good ideas of if they just listened or followed our advice or directions, they wouldn't be in the boat that they're in. And oftentimes they need to be in that boat because they have a soul journey and lessons that they need to learn too. One of the things is when you detach with love or use the form of non-resistance, it does not mean that you don't care. So let's not confuse love for them or not caring with doing those things. What it is it's the healthiest thing that you can do, no matter how hard it may be. And so very few situations that I deal with in people's lives need our input. So we'll just start with that. And oftentimes people just share because they want you to observe or listen. There is a difference in observing or listening. Is just one of the most beautiful, healthiest contributions that we could do. Wouldn't you agree with that, Doug?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. So you don't have to solve situations for other people. And I used to think that when people shared something with me, that they were wanting me to, if they got in a jam, they wanted me to come up with a solution. Well, I realized through trial and error, through many years of my journey of recovery, what I was doing was running interference between them and the sunlight of the Spirit of their Creator, of that beautiful, beloved relationship that they would have. And when I first became aware of that, I was like, wow, I had no idea, honestly, that was running interference in between that relationship, that divine relationship that they would have with God. So standing in between their God and them is not a place where I want to be anymore. And So although other people's drama or other people's situations may appeal to us to help, is something that requires us to look within for wisdom and bring in that detaching. And I love the saying that I heard I heard it from Doug before he shares it. I'd like to know if you remember where you get it from or where you picked it up from. But sometimes helping is not helping. Sometimes it's interference. And so with love, putting healthy boundaries up and set them between ourselves and others, you know, and as things work out and things shift and change, you know, those boundaries are not cemented walls, but they're movable, they're breathable, and they can shape and form. And so that deep desire to help may be rooted in love because we don't see the other person as being able to solve it themselves or being capable. And what the thing is, we don't want to see them get in harm's way. When we need to trust that process, begin to learn to let go and let God, that there's a natural course of action, and become able to trust this process, that they're living their own life, and as they live their own life, we're able to give ourselves the gift that we deserve and allow others to do the same. That frees us up more for creativity, to bring that flow in and to focus on ourselves. It opens up the door for serenity. It creates more energy, that you won't feel depleted, you won't feel exhausted, and you'll be able to offer yourself more and other people. So sometimes the healthiest thing that we can do is remove ourselves from a situation, get a clear mind when it's causing us pain, and allow us time to regroup and backing away and giving our emotions a rest, bringing peace in a new perspective. Give yourself that permission to do that so you don't get caught up in the drama and in the intensity of it. Just remove yourself and bring some prayer in and light candles for them, or call a beautiful sacred place that does prayers. One of my very favorites is Silent Unity. And what I do is I will call them, and they have literally a 30-day, 24/7, 24 hours, 7 days a week prayer vigil for a loved one. And I know many other churches carry the same thing, and whatever practice of faith that you have, it's available for everywhere. There's also K-Love and the Fish. Those are Christian radio stations that
Air One.
Air One totally rocks. And so there's many different sources. You could private message me. I certainly hold prayers regularly for people. And oftentimes, knowing that we don't have to resolve a situation for a person is just great wisdom. And so in that, allow the natural order of things to unfold. You still care, so don't confuse that with love. And it gives a chance for spirit to enter into their lives and for heaven to help them. Okay? And so if we monitor and control every single thing and micromanage, can't even tongue twister, micromanage someone else's life, it is first and foremost unhealthy for us. And we can't control how other people think or believe, no matter how much we would like to think that we do. It's just like banging your head against a wall. And it's just insanity of doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results, and we're the ones who get dragged through it. So it really harms us just as much as it harms them. And so really loving a person is really letting them go, allowing God to work in their life without interference, and allowing them to make their own decisions. And oftentimes it's easier said than done, but I'm right there in there with you and giving you support with it. And if you need to share whatever's going on and you're getting brave and standing up for yourself, I'm on your team. And know that this is what we're creating, this team of sober light workers. We're all in this together. We're not alone. And Doug, I would love to hear what you have to share on the topic this week. So that's it for me until we do the card readings later. We'll be back. Set your questions up. If you want card readings, let us know, and we'll get to as many as possible. And thank you all for joining us on Facebook and Instagram. It's your turn.
Well, I know in relating to Serenity and Sobriety, letting go and letting God. I believed that there was a God or a power greater than myself. I just didn't think any of that happened on the earth plane, this space here. It's like, because the people I was around with. I mean, I was raised in a loving home. There was things going on. My parents separated when I was young. I mean, it wasn't all rosy, but it was a loving home, and so I didn't think that there was any, that God didn't interact with you here when we're here, in this form. And I just didn't know, I didn't know. And so for me to, let go, let God, it's like, I didn't get that. I didn't get that there was something, or this power, or this God that, loved and cared about me and wanted the best for me, so I didn't know how to do that. And when I got sober, it wasn't by my own. I surrendered. Is what happened. Is I surrendered, and once I finally let go, things started happening. It's like and I was learning how to wakeboard. Like water skiing. It's wakeboarding, and I was learning how to wakeboard, and I was behind the boat, and I was holding onto that rope so tight, and I was just the wakeboard was more like a water plow, and I was just plowing all this water, and it was just like dragging me. And when I'd finally, because I couldn't, strength-wise, I couldn't hold onto the rope anymore, and I'd let go, and it was like a rubber band, and it would shoot back towards the boat. It didn't like land in the water; it would just like bling and shoot out. So I didn't know to let go. And I mean, I'm holding on with everything I got. It's it's got to get better. It's got to get better. And so I mean, that's basically the analogy of the getting sober. And finally, once I let go, and it's like, I can't do this. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And there is a power that's greater than myself that does love me and want the best for me. But I keep getting in the way, and I would do things out of self-will to try to change things or control things, and it would just be worse. And it was just a continuing going of that. And part of I wanted to help people, like Bridget said, sometimes helping isn't helping. I was trying to help people, and they don't want help or whatever. And so some of my, for lack of better words, like the codependency, the way I would treat that and be able to let go of people was I would drink. So I wouldn't care, and blah, blah, blah. And so once I finally quit drinking, then I'm left with the codependency. And it's like, well, now now that I've sobered up, I've still got all this other stuff I got to work. I mean, it's like, I've got lots to work with here.
Yes.
There's
how many of you identify with that?
So,
raise your hand.
So, and that's the thing. And so it's like, yeah, I've gotten sober, but I'm still trying to, help people. And I went to another program, I started going to Al-Anon. And I tell you what, that was a whole nother, that was a whole nother onion to peel. Or I like using the analogy of a artichoke, because you peel the artichoke to get down to the heart, but some of them got little spikes and thorns, and they kind of will hurt, and it was, and going through that kind of stuff, and seeing my behaviors, and it's like somebody's going through, or even, here's a simple thing, it's like we do some work with, past lives or any kind of therapy or anything work. And it's like, if somebody would start crying, it's going to be okay. Because they're making me uncomfortable. I don't like them, because if you're crying and you're uncomfortable, then I think that, I'm uncomfortable, so I want that to stop. And instead of allowing somebody to let go of that and release that and move through that and let them go through their process.
Cathartic, cleansing.
Yes, and that clearing. But see, that made me uncomfortable, so you can't do that. I want to fix that. No. Let's fix that. And the same way when I got sober was once both my parents had passed, and my family, the rest of my family, basically stopped helping me. I had to get sober. And so, and on the flip side, on their side of the thing, it's like, that's a hard thing to do, because we love these people, you know, we love our friends, we love our family, we love these people who are in addictions, and to let go of them, you know, with love, to detach with love, and let them go through the process. And sometimes that process is you know, it's painful to watch, and sometimes you have to remove yourself from their life or whatever, and be around people who have been through the process to support you through. Because what happens with me is, like, I'll do something, I'll set a boundary or do something, and then I'll think, maybe that was a little too hard, and then I'll backstep and, you know, are you sure you're okay? You know, and it's like, no, I need to stand and firm and not do the wishy-washy thing.
Right.
I need to be, you know, firm in that decision, and here again, running it by other people, you know, people that are on the path, that are, you know, that you trust and you can communicate with, and bounce these things off of each other. But the whole piece is to let the outcome in God's hands. And it's like, I don't know what's best. I'm trying to find out what's best for me, and it's a process. I'm in process. So for me to know what's best for you, I don't know. I have my experience I can share with you.
Right.
But I don't know what's best for you, because it's even in Ayurveda, we have the 3 different doshas, and it's like, if I'm Vata Pitta and I'm working with somebody that's, you know, Kaphic, they're not going to be. They're not going to want to do it my way.
Right.
Or anything like that. Nor would I want them to do it my way, because we need to have our individualities to make that orchestra or that bouquet of flowers that we all, you know, join harmoniously to spread you know, help each other and have our own colors. But you know, it's a process. It's such a process, and that's, I think, coming back to the one thing that we talked about was the afterburn. It's like, you know, when you start trying to change and do these things and do the internal work, and it's like, okay, this isn't working for me, or it's even speaking your truth. You know, sometimes Bridget and I, you know, something will be going on, and you know, have to pause, and it's like, you know, be able to speak your truth, and we've been married 19 years.
Yes.
So
since June 7th.
Since June 7th.
And we met in the program.
Oh, we met in the
so
program.
Any 12-step program, if you think, no, that's not for me, I say Sobriety was the gift and Doug was my door prize.
Some people in the 12-step programs, they'll say that's 13th stepping, and, you know, so 12, there's the 13th step.
I got lucky.
Some people say the 13th step is also to pass or die sober or clean.
Right.
But anyway, it's letting go and letting God. It's like, you know, it's like, okay, it's like we'll work with people and their son or somebody will go to jail, and I'm like, awesome, you know, they're in good hands, they're safe, and let them go. You know, don't put money on the books, don't do this, don't do that. You know, that was my experience, and so allow them to stand upon their own 2 feet and become the people that they need to become. But here again, it's like you do those boundaries, and it's like it's you know, it's tough. You know, and it's again coming back into our own, you know, our own families. It's hard. I have my brother, and it's hard sometimes to watch them go through things and not want to interfere, because in the past I found out my role in that family dynamic. You know, that was one of my things was to interfere, and it's sometimes it's hard, and some people don't understand that that's what I'm doing, and that's okay too. And they'll say that I'm a bad person, or you know, it's like sometimes when you're taking care of yourself, people aren't going, good for you, you're taking care of yourself. Well, it's that thing about crying. It's like, now I've just made, you know, I'm uncomfortable, I'm taking care of myself. Now, by me taking care of myself, I've made you uncomfortable, and then you want to, you know, the other person may want to fight or, you know, argue or, you know, anything. So it's not for sissies. So, but the bottom line in all that is knowing that there is a God, there is a Creator, there is this power that is greater than ourselves. And it's like, and I've had people also that said, you know, well, that's just copping out, or you're not doing anything about it. It's like, oh no, I'm praying my rear end off. You know, I'm doing a lot of writing and working. It's like, no, I am doing a lot of work. It may not come across to you that way, but I am diligently doing a lot of work, and a lot of, you know, sometimes the crying, the cathartic crying, sometimes, you know, just moving through this, because it's hard to, you know, hold that space and hold that, you know, that the boundaries or whatever.
That's why it's
So-
good to have a mentor or a
Yes,
trusted person
yes.
who's gone
To
through
help
this
encourage
process
you through it.
that says this is common, this is what
Yeah,
does
yeah,
happen.
absolutely common.
Especially when you do set the boundary. I remember I was so grateful when I checked in with my mentor and she said, oh, right now you're having afterburn, because there was like, oh my goodness, now I don't know if I did the right
Right,
thing, if I
right,
upset them, or, did
Yes,
all this stuff. And
yes.
they're like, oh, darling, that's just afterburn.
Yes.
And I'm like, what's afterburn? Where you go, oh, I shouldn't have said this, or maybe if I didn't do this, or the guilt and all of that stuff. But just recognizing and putting that name on it, afterburn, that it's centered in love and you can keep on being true to yourself no matter what. It's healthy.
Yeah.
It's healthy, and oftentimes, due to contrary belief, we're not in our society, we're not led to believe that stuff, and so this dysfunction, we're just going to call it what it is and not candy coat it, not any cotton candy or fluffy stuff around it, but
That's serious
it's
work.
serious work, and it's not for sissies, and we really need to collaborate and be there
Work
for one
together,
another and
yeah.
work together.
Big
Yes, big time. And I would also love to have you guys, if you feel anything guided or anything, please let us know on the topics of any upcoming topics you would like us to address. We'd be more than grateful to have your input. And do you have anything else to share on that?
Not at this point. I think I'll let go and let God.
Let go, let God. So now it's time for the part where we can offer readings, questions and answers, anything that you have of any prayer requests, stick it on here. Keep in mind that on Facebook Live it moves really fast, and also some things get lost in there, and we will do our best to answer everything. And we want to thank you all for being here with us too. We're on Facebook Live and on Instagram. So how about Teresa Blanton? Hi, Teresa. Welcome to today. And she says, I'm going to be moving to California in the next
All right.
few months. Yay! Could I get a reading on this, please, on that specific topic, obviously. So I'm drawn to use the change cards, butterfly change cards by Doreen Virtue. Absolutely love them. And I've already done the prayer prior to us starting the Facebook Live. Doug and I always do that together. And so I'm going to pull 3 cards. Okay, Teresa. So there's some things here, some beautiful cards. I'm going to move this over here. I write down here of the people that have gotten readings. In this process with the move, the dietary change is very important. In that, it will help with the flow of the changes coming up. Also, I'm picking up that there's something right now that may be with the move, some kind of a little bit of grieving, some emotions going on. So they're really asking you just to keep that all well balanced. And when you do take the final plunge to move, that when you move that you're not comfort food eating is what's coming up. There's something, because there's going to be an adjustment change and something new, and there's something that would normally be just a gravitation of reaching out with that. And just keep in mind that move is very good for you, and also the things and components that are the best for your well-being go with it also. There's something in here with forgiveness, and I'm getting that you've been working on forgiveness a lot, and there's nothing but beauty that is also coming from that, and that is what is helping with this move, with this transformation and this transmutation. There's been a lot of work done on behalf of this happening, and so there will be some residue from that if you're feeling that, just that's being cleansed and swept away right now, and that's all part of the process. So make sure to do some journaling, some writing, and get some more of that forgiveness. I feel that you're making this choice for yourself, but there's some resistance with some other parties that are kind of like, are you sure this is what you want to do? And so there's kind of some tugging or yanking at it that angels are showing me. Kind of like there's like support of it, but it's hanging on to your shirt, kind of like the curtails is what they're showing. But they're processing it too. Do not let that deter you from making the choice to move. So in this is coming up with gracefully aging. And so this move is part of the move and part of the plan that California is going to be very invigorating for you. It offers a lot of things, and it's just going to be something that's well-rounded for you, where you get to choose and do and be who you've always wanted to be. And you will be blossoming here. And so blessings on your journey. Good luck with it. I'm not sure if that's Southern California or Northern California. Doug and I reside in Northern California, but I was born and raised in Southern California, so we always get big doses of SoCal.
I'm NorCal.
And he's a NorCal baby. I'm like SoCal all the way. So we basically combine that in good balance. So sending you lots of love, Teresa. Thank you for being with us today. Okay, your turn. And we have Instagram also.
Okay, so it looks like Kristen Vitus?
Yes. I see you're a hairdresser. I am also.
Let's see, is that
Welcome, Kristen.
In myself and family. Could I please have a reading for some clarity on how to approach this? I'm going to go with the angel answers.
Beautiful.
Angel answers deck by Doreen Virtue.
And Radley Valentine,
Valentine,
our beautiful friends. Love, love, love them both. I love the artist on the cards also.
Okay. Kristen. Okay, so the first card that I'm getting here is romance. And I'm seeing, if you see in this card, there's two looks like angels looking at each other. So I'm getting romance, but it's also like, then you see like the spark up here at the top. But it's to kind of, here again in the topic of letting go and letting go, it's, you know, the communication is so important, and being firm in where where you're communicating from, and checking where it's not trying to sway anything, again trying to control the situations, but being able to see the other person's point of view and see things from the other person's eyes, and see where, because it's that serenity prayer. I can only change myself. I can't change anybody else. And it's like, and especially, and it's almost harder in the family unit, because it's like our families, it's like people say, you talk about buttons, pushing buttons. It's like, well, they kind of, I don't want to say they gave them to us, because it's me, but it's a dynamic. They know where they're at. They know which number to dial.
What can you say?
And likewise, I do too. And then my point is not to, even I might know somebody's number, not to dial that number and try to. But see the other point of view, and that brings in it's like romance. It's like new, make it new, make it exciting. And so I see again here that it's a process, because the next card here is a year from now. So don't, I'm getting to, and that's that. I think it's like that. I think you mentioned turmoil, or not, struggling within myself in family. Could you please have a reading, some clarity on how to approach this? Here again, it's always us. I love this mantra. Always us. It's never them.
I love that one.
So it's like I can't. The more I try, it's like if they would just do this, then I'd be okay. And it's like, that's the definition of insanity. And so it's like, I can't change if this behavior, if it's either okay, accept, change, or eliminate. Accept it how it is, or change the way you think about it, which is like this. Again, seeing the other person's point of view, maybe they're doing the best they can, give them the benefit of the doubt. But it's going to be a process, and it says, like this card here, it says a year from now. So sometimes, it's, making those boundaries, and then, pausing a little bit, and then, moving forward. But it's always forward direction. Speaking of which, the last card here is choose a new direction. And here again, it's that serenity prayer. Finding little gimmicks or little tools that you can have. I would even put like stones or beads. I would actually wear a WWJD, what would Jesus do? Because as you see, I talk with my hands, and when they're out here, it's like, oh, I see this, and it's like, come back in and trust and, let go, let God. But the key thing here is taking care of yourself, and being gentle with yourself, and to pause. Pause. It's a big, it's a big thing. But it's like, instead of maybe in that moment of a heated topic or something, is just to not say what you want to say really bad, because I've done it. We've done it. We've all done it. And it's like, once those words come out of the mouth, it's like you can't grab them back and pull them back in. Right. So it's like, just
or
pausing.
Emails or text.
Yeah,
nowadays,
now you've got
modern
documentation of it. So.
No. Note to self.
Yes.
Pause.
But here again, it says a year from now. So a year from now, and that's just meaning that give it time to resolve, and be gentle with yourself.
Yes.
Be true to yourself. Other people are going to do what they're going to do, and sometimes, again, like I said, they're not going to pat you on the back for taking care of yourself, and do it gently. Sometimes, and I say this with discernment, and I'll give you the reason after I say this, but sometimes F you is one of the most spiritual things you can say, because if you're dying inside and you're trying to please everybody, and you're saying yes when you're screaming no inside, and it has to even speak your truth even if your voice is shaking. Now, the backside of that, I shared this with somebody before, and they said, "Oh, good, I tell my son F you all the time." It's like, well, if you're saying it all the time, stop saying it.
Yeah, that's
so just a little thing with that, but
as a boundary.
As a boundary.
As a
It
boundary.
is as a boundary, and again, being gentle with yourself, and seeing the new thing, and by doing that, and by you taking care of yourself, you get a whole new life. I mean, people start. I mean, it's amazing.
Yes.
But here again, give time to the process. Get support, be in groups, or whatever you find that resonates with you. So, Kristen, I hope that helps, and sending lots of prayers, because it's the family dynamic it's a process. It's a process, and sometimes, again, excusing yourself from the environment if necessary. Giving yourself, I'm going to be in this dynamic for 15, 20 minutes, half hour, whatever. Check in with yourself. It's like, am I doing okay? Am I not doing okay? If I'm not, then I can excuse myself. So let us know, and here again, being in community with people who've gone through these processes together. So
yes.
But many, blessings.
Thank you for being with us, Kristen.
Thank you for that question too.
Yes.
Because here's again, if you like Kristen, when you ask this question, and for me, when I was working on this process, people like you were asking questions that I was afraid to ask, and so by us talking about it and you putting it on here, it's helping other people who are afraid to ask these questions.
Right,
I mean,
because these are family secrets. It's kind of like
where
I came from. It was don't air your dirty laundry in front of other people. So those are old ideas. Those ideas did not serve me. Now I just not only air my dirty laundry in front of other people. I wrote a book about it. I opened up the closet and took those skeletons out and dispose those puppies. I mean, there's not one bone that has been left untouched in there, and it's like, here's who I am, here's what I am, and I don't regret any of it because I'm now the person who I am today from it. So.
And likewise, like with all of us.
And with all of us.
Share these secrets, and
yes.
and find out they're not secrets. Everybody, we're all the same.
Yeah, it's like, why was I hanging on to that stuff anyway? And then when I did that with the skeleton closet, those were secrets that weren't even my secrets. They were other people's secrets that I carried shame and guilt from. So that's like, oh my gosh, what a load. Cut that out, you know, and so the shame and guilt and stuff. So it set me free. So now we're going to go over to Instagram, and we have Janine Porter over there, and Jonathan, and Mark Mesatran, and hi guys. And so I want to give Janine Porter a reading. Love you guys. Thanks for joining us over there. So Janine, I am drawn for you. I'm going with this beautiful Abundance card deck by Doreen Virtue and Grant Virtue. It's the newest deck on the market right now, and it's beautiful, as all of them are. Okay, so Janine. Okay, so what we have here for you, Janine, on Instagram, Windfall of Abundance. An increase in abundance is arriving in many different forms, some of them unexpected. Be open to receiving and know that this abundance comes to you to support your life purpose, health, and charitable work. So right here, this card is affirming and confirming that you're on the right path, right here, right now. So keep doing what you're doing, keep that dedication, that discipline, keep your eye on that target and focus on the target. Don't worry about so much about time constraints, time frames, anything on the calendar, anything on the watch. You just keep going about the business of what you're doing. And so that brings the card of do the work. And in that, it's not enough to dream or pray. You've also got to take the positive action steps that you are being divinely guided to take. Consistently working on your priorities will make them flourish like a lush flower garden. So right here, Janine, it just popped up. Where you're at, I got goosebumps. Where you're at needs so much light, okay? And you are going to be the creator of it. Start. And they're saying bloom where you're planted, and let that, don't stop and wait until someday when I've got this and that, then I'll get started. They're saying get started now and build, and they will come. And it doesn't have to be right when you open that door, everything perfect. Right when you open the door with what you've got will be perfect, and build along the way. So I'm not saying of going into debt or anything like that, opening it, but you're going to be co-creating this beautiful vision. And in that, know that there will be other help, but they've got to be on that same page. This is not to say, okay, it's kind of like they're showing me a recipe. If you're making a beautiful vegan dish or vegetarian, you're not going to go and go, well, that's not that bad. I'm going to throw a little bit of meat in there because they still offer this kind of stuff. It's like, no, really hold your vision, and if that dish is vegan or vegetarian, really say, you know, thank you, but that's refer to another source for them is what's coming through. Not that there's judgment with that, but it's just not what, just like someone who eats meat doesn't want a vegan dish. You know, so it's like don't go too much with a potpourri of mixing everything together. Stay in your vision and stay in your truth, and even if it's only one or two people helping, so be it. That's what's going to create this. And in this, the next card is block out distractions. Your life purpose and other priorities need your undivided attention. So it's time for you to take charge of your schedule and working environment by turning off electronics and avoiding anyone. But turn off the electronics after this is done. and avoiding anyone or anything that distracts you from what's important. You already know what these distractions are, and you have the power and responsibly block them out. So in this, just kind of know when to turn off the time, when to dedicate it. You know, you still do need some form of media with what you're doing and what you are creating in that space, but really focus it and get it going. I'm seeing like they're showing 2 to 3 months. This is something that will happen. Fall is a very beautiful time for you, very invigorating, and get it going, okay? So sending you lots of love, Janine. Thanks for joining us. That was on Instagram. And so now we'll see what we got.
Refresh here.
Refresh. Refreshing on Facebook. Blow, sending you love from Scotland. Blow the yucca for me. Oh, you'll have to bring the didgeridoo out. Yes. Heather, he'll have to do that sometime. Thank you for that suggestion. He will. Doug has some beautiful YouTubes under 12
sound solutions.
12 sound solutions,
12 sound solutions, yeah.
With crystal bowls, sound healing, and meditations, and
that's part of it. We kind of
beautiful.
unplugged last week, and we're in the process of doing some more creative things.
Yes.
So.
Meditations offering.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
There's Sharon
There we
Gray.
go, Sharon Gray.
Okay.
I would love a reading, please. So, where are we getting drawn to for Sharon? I'm actually getting Healing with the Angels.
Beautiful.
Thank you for joining us, Sharon.
What a little cutie in that picture with you, Sharon.
Oh my. And here's the thing too, it's like doing this work that we're talking about and doing this thing, it's like there's the, you see Sharon's got, looks like a, this little one with her, and it's generational. I mean, the work that's done is generational. It's like handing down new opportunities and beliefs and ways of doing things. And
Yes, yes.
so.
Oh.
Okay,
beautiful.
Sharon. So the first one I get a card for you is listening, and what I'm getting, listening is also what I'm picking at more is taking things in meditation, and that's like, you know, it's like we talked about well in the 11th step of the 12-step programs, you know, sought through prayer and meditation, and that's that like prayer and meditation. It's like some people, it's like we discussed earlier about praying, you know, praying, but it's also, you know, taking that time to meditate. So you pray, you know, you do that, and then you listen, you know, to listen to that intuitive voice, because deep down inside every man, woman, and child is that fundamental idea of God. You know, we've got that little spark in us, or big spark, or, but anyway, but stopping and pausing and being able to listen to that quiet voice. A lot of times, and you're, you know, you're intuitive, and knowing that, you know, trusting that intuition. Oh, and so the next card here is intention, and so here again, you know, by taking the time of being in meditation, and you know, having those intentions, you know, placing that intention, and it's like sometimes I do work sound healing, and sometimes it's like making sure that your intention behind things is the truth. You know, it's like speaking your truth. It's like, again, we said, you know, saying yes when inside you're screaming no. You know, you can feel that. You can feel that energy, and it's like having that intention. But taking that time and going back in quiet time and listening to that. You know, and taking time and placing those intentions for the ones that you love and the ones around you, you know, and being to be of service to them, to bring the best, their best and highest good, and maybe not what, you know, you think or whatever, but it's placing that intention of love and light. And then here we get divine timing. So through all this, it's like I'm getting divine timing is more. I'm getting more fun, joy. You see the little cherub, it looks like, with almost like a Cupid kind of, arrow, and looking at this, it's, you know, shooting forward. So it's into the future. And again, here we talked about with the little one you got here. You know, it's by doing this work, and these little ones are watching us. You know, they're learning how to process things. It's like, how are we processing? Are we, you know, doing this? Are we taking time to meditate, placing intention for the highest good of all involved? And we're moving this energy forward, and they're watching. You know, they watch us. So stay on the path you're on. You're doing this and everything, and just and have fun. You know, and this one, I just get a lot of joy out of this one. Just having a lot of fun and joy. Yeah. And he's got a whole quiver full of arrows, so, you know, just spreading that love, spreading that joy, spreading that, you know, being you, you know, shining your light. So I hope that worked. I hope that worked, Sharon. So
thank you, Sharon, for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
And I am going to go over here, and I had seen Rut would love a reading. Hi, Rut. Welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you again. So that is, I'm guided to use the Archangel Gabriel cards for you, Rhett. So I'm going to stick these over here. Glad you're here with us. And these Archangel Gabriel cards are by Doreen Virtue. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful. Right along the topic here. Okay, so I'm going to go like this. So, Rhett, what I'm getting for you is what comes up is retreat. To block out distractions, spend quiet time alone so that you can focus on your priorities. This is really important. In today's world, oftentimes people think that they need to go further away or on a vacation or something, and the angels are saying right here, right now, make your home even a quiet place, even if it's on a porch or in the bathroom. Many spiritual awakenings, believe it or not, happen even from salt baths or candles, anything. Just find a place that brings you that connection where you could connect yourself with your divine self and your Holy Spirit and God of your own understanding. And there's some beautiful, and it will restore you, it will replenish you, and some new ideas will start flowing through you. It feels like I'm getting that you will feel invigorated like 100 times more energy and everything. And the angels are just asking you to do that right now. And the next card is stay true to yourself. Don't compromise or water down your idea. Listen to, trust, and follow your inner guidance. My friend, you have a message with your experience that needs to be shared, that needs to be heard. And so that courage is like bubbling inside of you. And so I got goosebumps. This retreat is going to kind of be a time frame where it's like you've been going in this direction, but this retreat, even from your own home now, even in a garden, is going to be that fork in the road that from here on out, from that point with that self-care, you're going to start jotting the things down even more on a deeper level and start expressing and sharing them with other people. And so that's really important. There's some beautiful stuff in there. For some reason, children are popping up. It has something to do with children. Very strong in there for you. You are like an advocate for children, and in that advocacy there's something also with an avatar that's coming through. And so it's this really big movement, it's this powerful change, and when you connect with your angels in doing that, this is a beautiful movement that the children need. So the next card, Rhett, is media. You can reach more people by working with video, audio, print, and online media. So this is where you're going to even take baby steps. This is going to be something new for you because you don't have to figure this all out yourself, and you are going to ask for help. Okay, even no matter if it feels like you're thinking, oh, I feel like a rookie. We all got to start somewhere, okay? Just get that courage, muster up that courage. even with that little mustard seed of hope and faith, and know that those seeds will get spread where they're supposed to go. So don't worry about the hows, whys, whens, all the details, because that kind of stays locked up in here, that logic. Just get it out, especially nowadays there's so many different resources. So start building it, build that foundation, grow the legs will get stronger, get that body going, and this is all the foundation of it. So Rhett, thank you so much for joining us this week. And we've got 9 more minutes, so time for a reading, and then we'll do a general group reading for everybody. Remember?
Yeah.
That is so awesome. That was a great idea. Our beautiful
Kismet.
friend Kismet gave us that idea.
Suggestion. Yeah, that was good.
How did I get some? There's 3 cards from the last reading right there. So that was from Rhett. Okay. Oh, glad Rhett loves Archangel Gabriel. Good. So do I. And that's the messenger, as you know, and you've got it. You're protected. And that bubbling in your heart, that's what that courage was, oh, this is spot on.
Okay, so it looks like that's Genevieve Hawks.
Yes.
Another reading. Okay, Genevieve. I'm actually getting drawn to the Doreen and Robert Reeves.
Flower therapy. Oh, very good. It's about 100 degrees here where we're living at, so we need to stay
I'm wearing
hydrated.
shorts.
I know, it's like, woo, hot summer days.
Okay. So, Genevieve, for the first card, we got Open Your Third Eye. And it's echinacea. It says it's safe to open your center of clairvoyance. By doing so, you'll see the truth. I see your third eye is already open. You're here, you know, we're here together. But it's also taking that and just taking that pause in that moment to deepen that in meditation, and here with the echinacea too, that healing and that, you know, doing that. I'm getting more so just spending a little more time with meditation, or making it taking time with meditation, and maybe trying different types of meditation. You know, because each type of meditation will bring out a little different aspect or a little bit different way. But I'm getting for silent meditation. You know, whether that be, you know, doing some, I like sound healing, so like doing a little bit of sound or something, music or something, and then stopping it, because that's that sweet spot, is that silence, and being in that still, in that silence, and then having that communion with your Creator. And then the visions come clear. Okay, perfect. Magnify your intentions. A lot of intentions coming up today. Magnify your intentions. It's baby's breath. Choose a specific goal to work towards. Your energy is spread out among too many ideas. Please bring your focus back to the key intention, and let your angels help. So here again, you know, taking that time back in meditation, taking that time to pause, and maybe eliminating some of the things that, you know, maybe a distraction. It's like I love what Doreen says, you know, a delay tactic. Sometimes, you know, it's like I need to write an inventory and do some internal work, so I'll go clean the garage. It's like, well, no, yes, the garage can, but no, we need to do this other work first. So having that intention of, you know, what you're doing and what you're doing. Intention, again, is very, very powerful. And in sound healing, again, it's that the sound plus the intention equals the healing. You know, the sound is the carrier of the intention of the person that's doing the work. And so our intentions when we're doing or saying or speaking, it's very important. You know, like we'll say prayer before we do this. You know, saying prayer and putting that intention of what you want to come through. So by doing that and eliminating some of the things around you, I'm getting, you know, maybe dietary, maybe a little bit, maybe a little caffeine to start working on, or working, you know, in other directions, and to help that magnify your intention. And the last card here is the wisteria. It's time to decide. Make decisions now so you can move forward. Kind of getting back to the intention. You know, starting to eliminate. It's like doing a quick inventory on your life. You know, what needs to stay, what needs to go. Sometimes running that inventory by a trusted person or a mentor or somebody, because sometimes, you know, it's like you might want to discard something that's actually worth keeping. But just to have, you know, somebody that you can bounce it off of real quick. You know, it's not to make it complicated or anything, but just keep it, you know, just keep it simple, and keep doing what you're doing. And again, taking that time, I would make the meditation one of your priorities.
Okay, so that was with Genevieve.
Thank you, Genevieve.
Thank you for joining us, Genevieve.
And getting out in nature.
And so we have 4 minutes left, and what I want to do is, Kismet had that great idea, I want to use the Radley Valentine Enduring Virtue Fairy Tarot cards for the group message for everybody in closing. So I just wanted, this is a canvas for all of us this week as we join together. And also on how to get your life back, I do pull a daily card for everybody, so you could join me over there and see that beautiful page over there for the forthcoming book. Okay, so I'm going to. Beautiful. So this is for the whole group. That is for everyone who joined us today. So this is, the first card is the Dreamer. Embrace your true purpose. Begin a new adventure. Trust yourself. So this is the only thing holding us back is ourselves. And what this is this beautiful person, this fairy, has its travel bag, its traveling light, and it edited everything that is no longer serving it. And that is so it could freely go on the path that brings it the ultimate joy, the highest vibration, and just so it can reach its destination without looking back or without tending to the things that are weighing it down. Very important. That's the Dreamer. And then, so follow your dreams. The sky is the limit, and your path will be lit, and you know where to go in every step of the way. The next card is for a spring. Be grateful, you have much to celebrate. Deep feelings of peace and happiness, a contented personal life. So here it is, in gratitude. Be in gratitude for what you do have. Keep it simple, no matter how simple it is. When you're grateful and take care of the things that you do have, more things are bestowed upon you so you can bless other people with gifts. So freely give, freely receive. Keep that balanced and just enjoy the moments, celebrate the moments, and stop and smell the flowers. Enjoy the day. Don't be consumed with any things that are distracting, that are globally going on. Be concerned and all of that, but give it the attention it needs in prayer. Be an advocate with it. Spread the awareness, but don't let it paralyze you with fear. Still step into the joy and do daily things that continue to make you happy and bless other people and make them happy. Then the last one we have is the Empress. Time to take action, the power of creativity, success that allows for a life of luxury. And as you do this, carve out that time, dedicate, be disciplined in committing time every single day. If it's overwhelming, and you dedicate time every day to that practice, it gets done a lot quicker. There's that, they're showing you, how do you move a mountain? One piece at a time. It's not like if you thought you had to move it all at once, it would be impossible. So dedicate time daily to reach those dreams and take those action steps, and you will be given all opportunities that are part of your divine life purpose. And remember, only you can fill those shoes, and only you can fill your divine life purpose with your thumbprint, your fingerprint on it. And so nobody's going to get it before you do. Nobody's going to swoop it out from underneath, because only you can fulfill that life purpose. So that's it for this week. It's 12 o'clock. Oh, we're going to 10 seconds.
Thank you,
Mwah.
Instagram.
My Instagram, Facebook, we love you bunches. Instagram, we love you bunches. And we'll see you next week. Same place, same time.
Keeping together, yes.
Yes. And you want to close how we do?
Well, the light in me honors the light in you.
Yes.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.